What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Freedom Fire Podcast, where we want to stoke the flames of freedom every single day. My name is Kendall Bowman, and ladies and gentlemen, there's a very good reason why on this show I regularly say that you need to homeschool your kids, okay? And most of the time when I say that, it's because I feel like parents are the tip of the spear. Okay, if I feel like if you are doing right by your kids and you are doing what you need to do to protect your children, then, you should be good. You should be good. But in the past, we've also been able to have a reliance on, like, for example, if you live in a more Republican area, or an area that's got a Republican local government, then the Republican local government will sometimes, not all the time because most Republicans are spineless, but, sometimes those Republican, government employees will, those elected officials, they will help you out by putting laws in place that protect your kids, right? Yeah, you can't rely on that anymore. It's not working. And the reason we know that is because of stories like this. From the Post-Millennial, Virginia's largest school district refuses to honor updated state guidance on sex-segregated bathrooms and pronouns. I just want to say this before we read this story. The people on the left, these left-wing psychotic freak hole teachers, they think they own your children. They think that. They truly believe. They think that because they have this virtualistic, cultist ideology that they believe, they think that gives them a right to have ownership of your children and to do with your children whatever they please. They truly believe that. And this right here shows that. Because if we remember, one of the reasons why Governor Glenn Youngkin in Virginia got elected was because the parents in school districts were sick and tired of the schools teaching this LGBTQ garbage to their children. And they were also sick of the transgender crap where a young transgender boy or a young male who was pretending to be transgender wore a skirt to school and called himself a female, and then used that as an excuse to go into the girls' bathroom and molest a young girl. Yeah, that happened. And parents were so fed up because the school district tried to cover it up. And then they sent that young boy to another school where he did the exact same freaking thing. And once again, it was covered up. And when it all finally came to light, parents were fed up. And that is the exact reason why Glenn Youngkin got elected in Virginia. Now, if this were any other situation that didn't include the safety of children, I would just say, let the Democrats keep making the mistake. But when it comes to children, we cannot allow this garbage to happen. Unfortunately, it's very clear that the government can't really do much. I mean, they passed these laws. The school district said, we don't care. We're going to continue to groom your children, put them in situations where they're not safe, where they have, the chance of being molested by other male students. Yep. I don't know what to tell you guys, man. This is like I've been telling you to homeschool your kids for a long time now. But hey, don't want to listen to me. Let's read. Let's get into it. Virginia's largest school district will not be following the state's updated guidance regarding trans and non-binary identifying students. Fairfax County Public Schools announced Tuesday that students and staff will be expected to abide by its existing policy for the foreseeable future. The new regulations, which were adopted in September 2022 under Governor Glenn Youngkin, require facilities and activities to be segregated based on biological sex and do not mandate the use of preferred pronouns, as had previously been the case. We have concluded our detailed legal review and determined that our current Fairfax County public school policies are consistent with federal and state anti-discrimination laws as required by the new model policies, Superintendent Michelle Reed said in a statement. She went on to say that students will continue to be addressed by their chosen names and pronouns, will continue to be provided with access to facilities, activities, and or trips consistent with their gender identity, and will continue to have their privacy respected regarding gender expansive or transgender status, legal name, or sex assigned at birth. All students have a right to privacy in FCPS facilities or while participating in FCPS-sponsored events, Reed continued. Any student who has a need or desire for increased privacy, regardless of the underlying reason, shall be provided with reasonable, non-stigmatizing accommodations. As Fox News reports, state officials opted to change its model policies for the treatment of transgender students in Virginia's public schools after review found that the 2021 guidelines disregarded the rights of parents and ignored other legal and constitutional principles that significantly impact how schools educate students, including transgender students. The previous guidelines were also deemed to have promoted a specific viewpoint aimed at achieving cultural and social transformation in schools. The FCPS is not the first to refuse to follow the updated regulations. Both Alexandria and Arlington's school districts previously announced that they would continue adhering to past rules. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no one that's coming to save your kids. No one. No one. Let me say that again. No one else cares about your children. No one. No one. No one except you. Okay? These school districts will continue to put your children in situations where they are not safe. Just like in this story. The story that I just told you. I forget which school district it was in Virginia. I apologize. But one of these school districts in Virginia, following the policies that they want to follow rather than the ones that, the government has created, they were putting these young girls in situations where they would have to be in private spaces with young biological males. I don't know if you've ever been a young biological male, especially after they hit puberty. They tend to have certain urges that they want to commit. Okay? It's not safe to have young biological girls in the same private spaces as young biological males. That is not safe for those young girls. Democrats couldn't give a crap about that. It's so funny. These Democrats claim to be feminists. They claim to want to fight on behalf of women, but they routinely disregard what is safe for women and for young girls. They say, you don't need to be safe in the bathroom. Oh, just let this biological male in there. He's not going to do anything to hurt you. Boom, girl gets raped. School district covers it up, sends the young boy to another school. Boom, he does the same thing there. Guys, I'm going to say it again. No one cares about your kids but you. Democrats don't care. Republicans can't stop the Democrats in these school districts. That's very clear. Guys, you must protect your child. You. The school district doesn't care. Democrats don't care. Republicans, in reality, let's be honest, they might pass these laws, but they don't care. It's up to you as the parent to do your job to protect these kids. It's up to you. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to help you. It has to be up to you, man. That's the reality of life whenever you have kids. I get it. I get it. It would be so much easier, to take your kids and, in the morning, take your kids, drop them off at school, drop them off at the public school. You ain't even got to pay for public school. You just drop them off there, and there you go. You got hours to yourself now. That's great. Fine. But let me ask you this. What if instead I were to tell you that you were taking your child to a strip club and dropping them off at a strip club? Would you feel the same way? Oh, I need some hours to myself. I'm going to go take my child to a space where they're not going to be safe, where there's an opportunity. Like I've shared this statistic several times on this show. And I get it. Some of you might think that it's old, but it's important for people who might not have heard it to understand just how insane these schools have gotten, okay? Every single year, there are 300 cases in America where a Catholic priest has some kind of sexual let's just say it. There's some kind of, or commits some kind of sexual abuse against a minor. 300 cases every single year. Every year. Now, we know the type of stereotype that Catholic priests have. Some of us might have used that stereotype in the past. One of those persons might be me who have used that stereotype in the past. I'm joking. I'm really not, but I'm joking. I am. I'm not, but I am. I'm getting off topic here. We know the type of stereotype that Catholic priests have gotten because of these cases, and it's well deserved. And I think the Catholic Church needs to, be brought into the light when it comes to these things, and they need to answer for that. Absolutely. But my question is, why are public school employees not held to that same stereotype? Because just like there are 300 cases every year of a Catholic priest sexually abusing a child, there are 29,000 cases every year in America of a public school employee sexually abusing a child. I want to tell you guys of a story that I experienced growing up in public school. I want to say I was in 7th grade. I was in 7th grade going to school here in North Texas. And there was a young girl who I was interested in. Okay? I was interested in this girl, I liked her. I thought she liked me, but she told me, "Hey, I've got a boyfriend." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. That's fine. Whatever. I'll just move on." We were still friends after that. So I see her outside of the school one day. We're waiting on our parents to come pick us up after school, and her boyfriend, mind you, we're in 7th grade. Her boyfriend rolls up to the school in his car, and then proceeds to get out of his car, walk up to the front of the school, and we're the three of us are now standing here having a conversation. And I asked him, I said, "Oh, so do you go to the local high school?" He goes, "No, I'm 24." And I'm looking around like, is this a joke? Like, guys, the moral of that story is, when it comes to young children, young children are vulnerable to predators who wish to groom them into situations that children should not be comfortable in. And I know for a fact that if this young girl's parents had known she was a 7th grader dating a 24-year-old, I know for a fact her parents would not have been okay with that situation. And I just recently on YouTube, scrolling through YouTube, came across a video that was talking about this exact thing. And in the comment section was filled with stories exactly like what I just told you. The exact same thing. Let me give you another example, another story. There was a young girl in middle school who I dated. And over the summer, you know, me being a young guy, you know, being a freaking middle schooler, I can't drive. You know, we chose to break up because we could no longer really see each other, and the connection was kind of losing its luster, you know. So we broke up, and the next year we were in 8th grade, right? So we both come back to the same school, and she proceeds to tell me how she had, because she was mad at me that I could no longer see her, she proceeded to have sexual relations with a 23-year-old. Guys, I need you to understand, okay? I need you to understand. The public schools cannot protect your kids. They don't care to protect your kids. Democrat politicians don't care to protect your kids. Republican politicians, they might pass laws like this, but the reality of the situation is that they can't really do anything about it if a school district decides to go against those laws. Now, they can sue them, they can, they can get people fired and stuff like that. That's fine, but the next people that come in are also going to be left-wing, and they're not going to follow the rules either. And ultimately, even if they were forced to follow the rules, they'll just do everything else in secret. They'll just be grooming these kids in secret rather than in public like they are now. Guys, the ultimate answer to this is to homeschool your kids. Okay? You have got to homeschool your kids. I don't give a crap what your excuses are. I don't. I really don't. For example, because of what I experienced in public school, my kids will never go to a public school. They will never go to a public school. They will never set foot in a public school simply because I know what the environment is like. For example, I'm not going to give you the specific school that I went to growing up, but I will say this. After I left that high school, the reputation of that school quickly was affiliated with large amounts of girls getting pregnant. Yeah. Just realize, okay? Just realize this with me, parents. Public schools are not safe for your kids, okay? You might think that, we need to go work this extra job so that we can, get that really nice house that we think that we need when in reality we don't. So we're just going to put our kids in public school. We're just going to put our kids in a very unsafe situation where they could be, raped, molested, be a victim of pedophilia. They could be groomed. They could be assaulted. For example. The only other place in society, there's been studies that have shown this. The only other place that people can experience the same amount of violence that you will in a public school, the only other place that people regularly experience that level of violence is in prisons. Think about that for a second. Prisons, the American prison system has the same level of violence as our American public schools. And it's very clear to see. Go look at public schools in Baltimore or Washington, D.C. Go look at public schools up in New York or Brooklyn. Go look at public schools out in Oakland. Go look at the public schools in Oak Cliff here in North Texas. Guys, these are not safe environments for your kids. Then you've got the fact that Democrats are refusing to have armed security in schools to protect our kids from mass shooters. We'll put security in the banks to protect the money because we actually value the money. Oh, but when it comes to your kids, screw your kids. We don't give a crap. Oh, your kids can die. That's the reality of what these Democrats think of your children. They don't care. They care more about their agenda than they do about the lives of your kids. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's some Republicans that are the same. They're the exact same way. These rhinos, these neocons, they're the exact same way. So the reality of the situation that we live in the world today is this. The best thing that you can do for your kids is get them out of public schools, be in your children's lives. Fathers, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, fathers. And mothers, when a man decides that he's going to be a good man and stay in his kid's life, you honor him and you respect him. You don't degrade him. You don't try to bash his ego at every chance you get. You respect your husband. I know feminism told you that you deserve better. The reality is that you're not going to get better. A man that chooses to be a good man and stay in the life of his kids and chooses to provide for his family, that is a good man. And you need to recognize that and respect that and honor that. Because I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of these situations where men are leaving their families, it's not because they're a deadbeat. It's not. It's because they're a man that can't stand the woman that they chose to have kids with. They can't stand them anymore. Manipulative, angry, abusive women. Now, if the roles were switched and the man was angry and abusive and manipulative, all you women would be screaming to the high hills, "Oh, that woman needs to leave that man right now. That's abusive." Oh, but when the roles are switched, you think that man should just stick it out and stay with her despite her terrible behavior. The reality of the situation is, men, you need to do every single thing that you can to be a part of your children's lives and to protect and to provide for your family. Okay? Women, you need to do every single thing that you can to honor and to respect your husband as well as for nurturing your family. And then homeschool your kids. Homeschool your kids, guys. Present a safe environment for your kids at home, and then homeschool your kids. Because these people do not care about them. They will abuse your children. They will put them in situations where they could be molested, where they could be harmed sexually, and they will laugh in your face when you get angry about it because they don't care. They don't care. All they do is look out for their agenda. I'm going to keep saying it, man. I'm going to keep having videos like this until parents wake up and decide, you know what? Kendall's right. We should probably protect our kids from people who wish to abuse them sexually. Sounds like a no-brainer to me, but I guess there's some idiot parents out there who are still not aware that you're supposed to protect your kids from pedophiles, man. Like, how are you not getting that as a parent? I don't know. I'm going to keep saying it, though. I'm going to keep having these videos. I'm going to keep pointing out the disgusting ideology of the left and how they want to abuse kids, man. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to leave it there. I'll have another video. I'll try to have another video coming for you guys tomorrow. If not, it'll be Monday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down in the comment section, and share the show with your friends. Follow me on all the socials down in the description and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we put out new videos. And follow me on Rumble, over on Rumble, on my Rumble channel at Freedom Fire Podcast, so that we can fight against the censorship here on YouTube. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.